Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 Build a Nation story from Bangor City with me, Daniel. We're back for part 87 today and we have got a big tie. It is the playoff for the Champions League. We've got a chance to make it to the group stages in successive seasons for the first ever time in this series, and we've got a chance to start making ourselves a powerhouse. It's the 10th season, it's a massive one, and now's our opportunity. So can we take it? We'll find out today. If you're looking forward to this episode, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content. There's the final episode of our Welsh Experiment series coming tomorrow at 12 o'clock. And of course, we'll be live on Twitch then as well. So links to that one in the description down below and to all the other playlists over here in the eye above. But a massive thank you for your incredible support. It really is appreciated. Today though, we've got a little bit to talk about. You can see we've started the Welsh Premier League season okay as of TNS. We face Swedish opposition in the playoff for the Champions League. And although on paper, they're maybe not a reputable household name over here, they're a 3-star professional side. They've got a key player in Felix Samuelsson, who is a young striker that looks thoroughly decent. Certainly the level of Duffy Dean, maybe slightly better. And they've got a lot of real players. They've also got an Englishman in Francis Baptiste, who is a real player. He's not as well rated, but started at Palace, then went over to Östersunds and has played for a few other clubs too. But there are some very good players in this football team, so I'm interested to see how it pans out. Martin Hellman looks to be the best of them. He's a young left back, very good personality and good in the tackle. So I think it might be a quite even game, a bit like the Linfield one. We've just got to hope we can nick the additional goal. Let's start though, because we're in the summer transfer window, by having a look at what's gone on there. And the simple answer is not an awful lot. One player out on loan and that's just about it. No more signings. We're trying to find the right ones and we've got a good squad this season. I'm confident of that. It's just whether we can find a little bit of gold dust to add to it, and if we do, we'll be sure to spend the money on it. There's no problem with that whatsoever, particularly if we reach the Champions League group stages again. I know a few of you have asked why we don't sign some good players from abroad, particularly having seen what's happened in the experiment. And the truth is, when we've played against side in the Champions League or Europa League, we have gone and scouted some of the ones that have impressed us. Of course, we can't just use the player search screen or staff search here. There have to be players found organically through scout reports, through playing against them, through media reports, through the newspapers, whatever it might be. But as this happens, whenever we've scouted somebody who we've played against in the Champions League, who's been a young player at a Romanian club, a Serbian club, whatever it might be, they've always ended up saying that they've no interest in joining us. So the league reputation's still got a little bit to go yet before we can do that. And that's mainly because the other clubs aren't doing well either. And that's mainly because the other clubs aren't competing in Europe, I'd think. But so far, a very quiet transfer window, albeit a very good one with the players we've signed. And off camera, you'll of course know we won in the Champions League, but we've also done well in the other competitions too. A 5-0 win away at Valor in the third qualifier, much easier than a Linfield tie of course. We did have a goalless first half though and had to be patient, but Tom Jones, a Duffy and Pringle brace made it 5-0 on the night. We repeated that scoreline with a very different 11 against Holywell. Again though, the centre midfielder got a goal in Daniel Williams and 2 strikers got a brace, this time Max Dean and Elliot Andrew. A 6-1 win in a home leg against Valor, a Pringle hat-trick, a Duffy brace and Tom Jones again, before a 5-1 win on the opening day of the Welsh Premier League season, as at Cardiff Met Uni, the backup side went wild, with Malone, Cottrell, Maguire getting one apiece, and Elliot Andrew getting a brace as well. A very good performance, a very good flying start. After that quiet game against Linfield, after not creating many chances, we're back to goals galore, and we need that to continue tonight. So we're at home to Swedish champions, perhaps a surprise side winning the league there. No sign of the Malmos who have been up there in recent years. So let's have a look at our lineup for this one. Is it going to be our strongest 11? And can we get a good result? 5,500 at the racecourse? Because we're not playing against an established European side. We have to understand that. What we are going to do though is make a couple of little changes. Because Broom, he's got a bit of a heavy match load. So I'm going to play Patrick Malone today. Otherwise, that's our strongest 11 and that's what it's going to be. But let me see if I can adjust the bench, because our assistant manager maybe not got the best judgment there. So we've adjusted the subs bench, but it is all about the front three today. If they're in form, we'll be fine. We've got George Wickens in goal, Riley and Weaver the fullbacks with Boys and Price at centre half. You can see the star rating's just increasing. Price not really improving off the pitch, but still getting that increase. The same for Keegan Riley, though he is developing in training, and George Wickens continues to get stronger. So a lot of these players coming towards their peak now, which will make a difference from the permanent players. In midfield, we've got Harvey Lloyd in a holding role, still a fantastic player. Malone and Brooks in the middle of the diamond, with Tom Jones up in the number 10. He's, again, just getting a run together now. He's not got injury problems so far this season, touch wood, and he's improving no end. So hopefully he'll become a superstar with Duffy and Pringle up front. Goals galore from those two. 10 for Pringle, 5 for Duffy, 15 between them. And this could be another fruitful season for our new deadly duo. So into the game we go. It is the home leg against Swedish opposition. And touchwood against Norrkoping in a playoff for the Champions League. We can go one step closer to securing group stage football for the second year in a row. So all of those players we talked about are in that team today. You can see Hellberg's there. Samuelson's the skipper. There's another Hellberg in midfield who's quite good as well, actually. He might be playing up front even in this one. Oliver Olsen in goal is a good footballer too. So they've got a quality side. This is going to be a lot harder than the Valour match was. It's just whether we can get on top early. Because if we can overrun them a little bit, I feel like we could get 3, 4 or 5. But the problem becomes if we concede the away goal. Because then they've got to cling on. As Hellberg gets the ball away from an advanced throw-in for us. Weaver loses it and it falls for Harvey Lloyd. He switches it to the right back Keegan Riley. He's got two inside. One of them's John Price. He finds Lloyd out to Malone. Into the team for a rare Champions League day today. And he finds Riley on the right-hand side. Back to Malone. Can he deliver? It goes left to Weaver. He's got space here. Chance to shoot, perhaps. Gets into the box unopposed. And he cuts it back to Jones. Deflects just wide of the post. It's a corner kick. The man off injured. They've done well to survive it, in truth. And have now got their full complement back on. As Harvey Lloyd takes the in-swinging corner. Headed away at the front post. Doesn't even beat the first man. And Baptiste can bring it away. 0-0 with 10 minutes gone. They've had the only shot on target. But we've had the better of the match so far. Fingers crossed we can take a chance soon. Well, it's all gone a little bit wrong since. We're now back in the second minute of first half stoppage time. And we have seen no other highlights. No shots on target. And we're not looking like scoring. As it goes out to Riley on the right. Can we get that crucial goal? We had to be patient against Valour. But then the floodgates opened. If we can get one now, it would be the perfect time. And I'd fancy us to get a few in a second. And this long highlight, this good sustained possession, surely is going to lead to something. Malone finds Riley on the overlap. 4 in the box, cuts it back to Lloyd instead. Chance to shoot here. It's a brilliant finish. Maybe not quite in the corner. Perhaps the keeper could have got a hand to it. But it's a wonderful strike. It's a good goal. And on a stroke of half-time, Bangor City take the lead. Now, can we take advantage in the second half? A brilliant performance. The lads are capable of more. Let's see if we can go and get it. As we're back 10 minutes into the second half. Yes, then Weave up with a throw on the left. So away via Brooks' cross. And he gets it out to Riley on the right. Volleys it first time. Caught me by surprise there. But that one's over the bar. An hour gone. We've not really been great in front of goal. Only 2 shots on target. Greg Pringle's had a poor game. But we saw at Linfield when we left him on. He then turned up with a crucial late goal. As they get the ball up front with Baptiste. What we don't want to do now is concede an away goal. We're conceding the width, we always do that. But we've got a few runners cutting inside here, and we've got to be cautious on that front. As it comes out to Hellman, the left back. He goes down the line to Samuelson, the skipper, and he's taken on the fullback and beaten Riley there. Chance to cross, instead goes back again. That left wing, definitely the strength for the Swedish visitors, as Hellman cuts it back to Scoff. Into the box, to the back post. Hellberg heads in, and I think VAR might save us here. I didn't know we had it in the playoff. I didn't know we could have it at the racecourse. But to be honest, we don't really deserve to get away with that because it was a poor bit of defending. But thankfully, Hellberg was offside. 1-0 and we're back at the other end with Keegan Riley. We'll think about changes in a moment. The long ball's headed away to Malone and now Lloyd. He goes back to the centre half, Morgan Boys. Plays into the opposition half. Over the top, Pringle's there. Oh my word, he skied it. Greg Pringle, you don't miss those. What's happening? We're going to give him some encouragement because he's looking nervous again. He did that early last season too. Malone is shattered, so we'll bring on Christopher Broom. We'll also get on Cottrell for Tom Jones, the number 10, and Elliot Andrew for Joe Duffy, the centre forward. We'll give Pringle a little bit of encouragement, a touchline shout, and hopefully he'll react in the same way as he did at Linfield, because there he became a late hero. As we've got a throw on the left again with Yesten Weaver. 20 minutes left on the clock. Brooks and Pringle also involved in a triangle. And Weaver comes out with possession. Chance to find 3 or 4 in attack. Brooks gives it to Cottrell. He goes back to Lloyd. Up to the right hand side to Keegan Riley. Chance to deliver from the byline into Cottrell. And his shot's blocked behind for a corner. The flag's up though. Elliot Andrew offside. Was he interfering there? Maybe in the goalkeeper's line. I'm not quite sure though. The goal kick's intercepted by Price. Pringle gets it, beats 2 challenges, but can't beat the last ditch defending. As Hellberg, the right back, long ball forward. Intercepted by Price, only as far as Hellman, the left back this time. And he cuts it inside. Good possession from the Swedish side. They've been the sort of threat, they've been the competent opposition we expected. And they're still very much in this tie. As Cottrell gets it left to Greg Pringle. There's runners off him, instead tries to take on his man. He's challenged, but he still comes out with the ball. Finds Brooks on the left to Weaver, to Lloyd, to Brooks. And it's again into Lloyd in the centre midfield position. Cottrell with the back heel to Elliot Andrew. And his shot's over the bar. To be honest, in front of goal we've been quite poor today. We've had 14 shots to their 2, but we've only hit the target twice. And that's going to cause us a problem if we don't get a second. Because in the away leg, I'm sure there'll be a stronger opposition. As it is though, we go into 2 minutes of stoppage time with still just the slenderest of advantages. As Weaver picks it up, left side free kick to Brooks, to Harvey Lloyd, to Broome, to Cottrell, the substitute, through ball to Pringle. Oh, it's a good save by the keeper. But he has just not had his shooting boots on today. Greg Pringle misses again. And with the final kicks of stoppage time, is a Harvey Lloyd free kick on the left. Can we nick a second from the set piece? It would change this tie massively. Lloyd into the back post, Brooks heads down. Great save by the keeper and off the line for a corner. It's still 1-0 somehow. They are clinging on for dear life, the Swedes. It's Harvey Lloyd with an outswinging corner. Into the front post, headed away. And it's out to the right hand side to Lloyd again. Chance to cross for the second time. One final chance. Price picks it up. Don't go backwards. Please don't go backwards. Just get it in. Falls for Brooks. Nobody wants to take it. And in the end, the final whistle goes. The ref became impatient, and you probably can't blame him. We do lead thanks to that Harvey Lewis strike just before half-time. But it's 1-0 to Bangor City. And unfortunately, I'm not sure that's enough. Let's get through the weekend Premier League game. We'll be back in a moment for the second leg in Sweden. We're back for the second leg, and it has been a largely disastrous week. If we have a look at the schedule, we were held to a 1-1 draw by Newtown, who scored a late equaliser via Matthew Jarvis, a striker who can't finish to save his life. Our goal, though, did come courtesy of Max Dean, who's returning from injury, which is a good thing. However, in training, we also picked up an injury to Harvey Lloyd, who's going to be out for a month. So he's going to miss this game. He'll probably miss the first Champions League game, and he'll miss the international break for Wales as well. So probably a bit of a concern for us, as he's one of our best players. But either way, we hold a 1-0 advantage as we go to Sweden. And this game has a lot riding on it. It's an opportunity for us to reach the group stages of the Champions League. And to do that for the second year in a row would be a real signal of intent. If I very quickly take a detour to show you the coefficient for Europe, you'll be able to see that in the last year or two, we've been able to go a long, long way. And if we have a quick look at the qualification places, you can see Wales are up to 20th. And if we get up to 17th, which is level with Greece, look at the way Turkey's dropped, by the way, we could be going into the Champions League second qualifying round. If we can do that, we've only got to win one tie, and then we're directly into group stages of some European competition. So it's getting close to almost guaranteeing group stage football. We also then, a little bit later down the line, get to worry about what other teams qualify for. And that's where things can get exciting for us. However, for now, it's all about us beating Swedish opposition. If we don't do that, we'll be back in the Europa League. And although that's still a brilliant achievement for this club, it's not exactly where we want to be. Now, we've got a bit of a dilemma in the holding role because there's an injury to Lloyd, of course. So they're recommending that I put Price in the middle, which I'm not going to do. I want a stronger defence. I'm going to put Archie Woods back in the holding role. He can do that very well. Broome comes back in centre midfield. In attacking mid, I'm going to go for Ben Cottrell. Tom Jones will drop out today. He'll be on the bench. Luca Cannell picked up a knock at the weekend. He's not yet fit again. Callum Maguire's thrown his toys out the pram because he might be leaving. I mean, it's not the perfect day at the office. We've got a much weaker squad and weaker bench than the last tie. But this is what we're going for. So the change is enforced in the holding role. Woods comes in for Lloyd. We've replaced Malone with Broome in centre mid and Cottrell for Jones in the number 10 position. So 3 changes to the diamond, the rest of the squad stays the same. Now, can we get a result? We need to assure at least one of the following. We can lose by 1 goal as long as we score. We can draw and we can win. Which one will it be? Let's go and find out. Might be none at all, of course. A very similar lineup for our host today. It looks like all the same names in that starting 11. The same skipper, the same attacking three. Will it be the same tactic though? That's the big question, because we often see a big variance between the two legs. But not this time. They're playing exactly the same way. In fact, they haven't got Hellberg at left or right wing back, so there's a couple of players out. But let's go and skip through to the first half. Hopefully, a positive result to follow. And with just under 10 minutes on the clock, it's Vestergren and Baptiste linking up on the right wing. Cottrell intercepts though and finds Archie Woods. An away goal now changes everything, because then the Swedes need 3 goals. Otherwise we're through, as Weaver comes down the left-hand side. Can we get it? He crosses it. It's a brilliant flashed ball in that corridor. But none of the strikers really threw themselves at it. And as a result, it remains goalless. And now it's a free kick for them up on the left wing. Oh, the keeper came for it. Wickens got nowhere near it. It was headed against the crossbar. We are getting warning signs here. They've not had a shot on target yet, but they've had a couple of chances. And for us, although we've dominated the game, we've had more of the shots, we're not seeing a huge amount. Just that one cross in the box from Weaver. We've got a free kick on the left with Ben Cottrell. 33 minutes on the clock. It's straight into the goalkeeper's hands. It's not good enough. We've got to make the most of those chances. In the end, though, the goalkeeper can play long, and he's gone down the right to Baptiste. He's beaten Weaver to it, and now it's a race against time for Weaver to get back. Can't do anything about it. It's into Hellberg, and his header's at Wickens, who does well to hold. Makes a comfortable save in the end. Rolls out to John Price. Can we now get a goal on the counter? 1 goal, and we can almost say we're through. That's the difference. As Keegan Riley skips out everyone. Goes long to Pringle through the middle. And his shot is saved well down to his left by the keeper. It's a corner kick for Bangor City. Cottrell will take it. An in-swinging delivery. To the front post. Samuelson heads away. Brooks should get there first. But can we recycle it? Can we get it back in the danger area? Brooks is surging down the left wing. Tries to cross. But it's just blocked out for a throw. And with 10 to the break, this tie is very much on a knife edge. As Price plays out again from the back to Broom. We're definitely having more of the possession. More of the territory. But we can't make it count. We haven't created a brilliant chance. As Cottrell goes in behind, this might be it. Pringle's 1-on-1, has to score. Straight at Olsen again. What is happening to Greg Pringle? Maybe he's just a slow starter. You remember Christian Benteke in real life? For about 4 years he was like that. The first 3 months of the season he was awful, and then he went on and scored 15, 20 goals. Greg Pringle might be our version of that. As with 5 to the break, we have dominated this match. And I can't tell you how we're not ahead on a night. As it is, it remains 1-0 on aggregate. And if the hosts score 1 goal, we could be dragged into extra time. And we're back almost immediately in the second half, just a few seconds in, as Alstrand runs down the left, cuts inside to Samuelson, and he finds Baptiste playing off the right wing in this leg rather than through the middle. Out to Vestergren, the wing back. He's got a chance to cross. There's 4 in the middle. The second ball in finds Hellberg, and he's hit the crossbar. Keegan Riley makes a last-ditch challenge on the counter for the second, and Samuelson delivers again. Weaver wins this header. We are clinging on at the start of this half. Out to the right wing back again. Weaver blocks the cross, but it's a corner and the pressure continues. We're in a spot of bother here. We need a little bit of respite. We need a goal on the counter-attack. And then this tie changes completely. The confidence disappears for them. As Price heads the corner away, it's still not completely clear of danger. They're coming back down the left wing. They beat the defender. Can they get the cross in? It's blocked well behind for a throw-in. But we are living right on the edge here. As it's a throw on the right-hand side for Baptiste. Finds Samuelson. He gets it to Vestergren. Into Hellberg again. Finds Samuelson. It's 1-0 on the night. We regret not taking all those chances. And now our Swedish hosts are back on level terms. This is a big, big problem. Broom looks unhappy. The experience of Williams will come on. Up front, we're going for Max Dean, who scored at the weekend. He'll replace Joe Duffy, who's complacent at 1-1. And we have got to dig into these lads. We've got to demand more. Where is the performance? Greg Pringle again has had a poor day at the office. We just can't score a goal in Europe at the minute. We've had this one tie where we're winning 11-1. And then one where we can't score a goal. So there's a long ball forward. And I tell you who looked the more likely at the moment. It's certainly not Bangor City. Hellberg into the box again. Back to Vestergren, the right wing back. Had a brilliant game out there. Cuts it back to Peterson. Dean intercepts. But the slide tackle falls for Hellberg. He finds Samuelson. Vestergren again on the right. So many dangerous deliveries from him today. And there should be another one now. It's a brilliant ball. Hellberg's headed in. We are going out as it stands. What do we do now? Cottrell is going to be replaced by Jones, I think. It's the only thing I know how to do. He saved us before in Europe. Can he save us again? We go attacking. We berate the lads. And with 10 minutes to go, I don't see any way out of this. I think our Champions League dream is about to go into stoppage time. And with 2 minutes of it left, we're dropping into the Europa League. The Swedes beat us 2-1 on aggregate. We knew that all those wasted chances were going to cost us. And we end up dropping out of the Champions League. It shows you we're not the finished article yet. And what on earth is going on with Greg Pringle? He has had a difficult day today. We tell the lads we're pleased with the performance. But it'll be Europa League football rather than the Champions League. Now let's go and see who we get in the group. Disappointment and deflation to end on. It's transfer deadline day in England, so we're getting offers galore for our players. But the thing that's upsetting the owner, I guess, is that instead of 13 million for Champions League football, it's 2.66 for the Europa League. What it does mean, though, is that this year we have a real chance to help the coefficient. And more importantly, given our recent runs in European football over the last few years, we're now seeded first for the Europa League. So we avoid the likes of Spurs, Benfica, Napoli, Roma, Sevilla. Massive clubs that we've avoided. What will happen, though, is all the other teams in the other pots will be looking and saying, we want to be in Group D with Bangor City. So let's see who it is. There's still some massive sides there. Hertha Berlin, Braga, Dinamo Kiev we've had good fortune against in the past. Let's see who we get. It won't be Galatasaray, Braga or Kiev. I'd probably like Midtjylland, to be honest. But we get Club Bruges of Belgium. I'm guessing, being a Belgium side, they'll have some wonder kids. Nasiri is one of them, the goalkeeper. Very, very good. An excellent goalkeeper. That's going to be a hard group, isn't it? But they're the hardest side we've got to face. Let's see who's left in Group D. Linfield, who we faced in the Champions League qualifying. Sarajevo are there. But then there's big sides. Lille, Olympiacos, Besiktas. We've avoided Everton. We've avoided Freiburg. And we've got Sarajevo of Bosnia. I think that's about the best we could have hoped for. In truth, that's a pretty lucky draw. Let's see who's left in the final pot when we get to us. Linfield have drawn Hertha Berlin and Benfica. It could have been a lot harder, couldn't it? In the final pot, we're looking at Desna of Ukraine. We're looking at Legia Warsaw, Slavia Prague, Lens or Basel. Actually, all pretty decent sides, or pretty decent nations they're coming from. We've drawn Legia Warsaw, though. I think they're a side that we can beat, but we're going to have to be at our best. And that's not something we've done often in this save. Look at that goalkeeper they've got. That's world-class level. We might be in a spot of bother. Having said that, let's have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back. And I'm sure it'll be dictated to by a Europa League schedule. So our first game is at home to Club Bruges. And that is in about 5 or 6 games' time. So we'll probably show that in Carmarthen, I think. Although it is tempting to come back for Sarajevo and TNS. Maybe we'll do that instead. So one of those 2 double headers will be the next episode. I won't promise which one just yet. I'm looking at it and thinking perhaps Sarajevo TNS, then Legia Warsaw and Barry Town. They're the 2 I'm looking at for now. But if you did enjoy this episode, that bitter disappointment in a Champions League playoff, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Injuries, drop points domestically and out of the Champions League. Not the best episode in the world, really, is it? We'll probably lose a few on transfer deadline day. We'll see if we can get 1 or 2 through the door as well. Because I think we just need to freshen up the squad slightly again. Because this lot of lads may be just getting a bit too settled. You never know, 1 or 2 changes might be just what we need. So if you want to stick around and find out what happens next time, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You'll get alerts as daily videos released from 2 long-term stories, as well as live streams, odd experiments and much, much more. You can find a link to the Twitch channel in the description below and all the other playlists up in the eye above. But a massive thank you for your incredible support, for continuing to watch as always. And I'll see you next time with Europa League group stage action. Who would have thought 10 years ago we'd be disappointed saying that?